and my name is Sheila, and thank you for coming to my YouTube, and please thumbs up my YouTube, and thank you for thumbs up my YouTube. And today we'll read Magic Treehouse stories. First, we can read Buffalo Before Breakfast story. We can have to start for the chapter 8, Scared Circle, and then I'm reading in chapter 9. Okay, and this Titanic story. Tonight on the Titanic story will be same as this book. Started at chapter 8 and then you're reading at chapter 9, okay? And now, are you to read this 2 book and 2 story and meet some lots of characters? And now here we go. And first you can read Magic Treehouse, Buffalo Before Breakfast story. Chapter 8, Scared Circle. The sun was going down as the 3 ponies left for home. The deep blue sky was scratched with a golden red light. Black as a local camp, the circle of teeps growing in a setting sun. People were gathering around a large fire. Black Hawk led Jack and Annie to camp. They got the ponies and went over to the fire. Grandmother rose to greet them. "We have been gone a long time," she said. Black Hawk looked at her bravely in the eye. "Grandmother untied your horn in the buffalo alone," he said. "One charged at me, but Jack saved my life." Then Annie and White Buffalo Woman stepped all over Buffalo from a stampede. Let this be a lesson to you," said Grandma sorrowfully, "and your pride let your show up, and showing off made you behave closely. Your shrewdness frightened a buffalo. He frightened others. One day will lead to another, and everything's related." "I'm sorry," said Black Hawk. He made in his hand. "I have learned it," and Jack felt sorry for Black Hawk. "I make mistakes sometimes too," he said softly. "Me too," said Annie, and Grandmother looked at Jack and Annie. Buffalo Girl rises like wind showed great charge today. She said he smiled. "They love his new local name, rides like wind." "We welcome you to our family," said Grandmother. The evening shadows spread all over the camp. Someone began to banging a drum, and it sounded like a heartbeat. "Come sit with our circle," said Grandmother. And they sat near a warm fire, and the cool breeze forced sparks and a gray twilight. And an old woman held a long pipe into the sky, and he pointed to the left, south, the west, and the north. And he passed the pipe next to the man in the circle. And the man in the pipe was his lips and blew smoke in the golden twilight, and passes on, and the smoke from a scared pipe joins in things in a great sprite. Grandmother said to Jack and Annie. "What a great sprite," said Annie. "And the great sprite is scared of the things, and he scared of the circle of life," said Grandmother. "It's a circle of all sprites." "What sprites?" said Jack. "There are many," said Grandmother. "Wind sprites, tree sprites, and bird sprites. Some they have been seen, sometimes they're not." "What about a white buffalo woman?" said Jack. "Who is she?" "The messenger of a great sprite," said Grandmother. He said when he was trying to say disturbing, and he ride in a scared pipe so our players could rise in a great sprite. He anxious by standing on a buffalo. "What do you think White Buffalo Woman came to me?" said Annie. "Sometime a college can someone help from my bayou," answered Grandmother, and she put a brown white feather from a small bag, and she put a feather in the ground in front of Jack and Annie. "This is a gift for you," she said, "an Andrew's feather in your carriage." Now Jack and Annie have their gift from a Buffalo Before Breakfast story, I think. Earth, Teddy wiggled his tail, and Jack and Annie smiled at each other, and the angle's feather was their gift from a party blue. So the mission was complete, and the chanting and the drum beats grew louder and louder, and they stopped. The old woman held a pipe of the sky. "This thing's a relief," he said, and the pipe smoking accordingly was over, and the sky was dark and filled with the stars. One by one, the people rose from a circle and went their tippets. And Jack put the angel feather in a bag and yawned. "We must go home now," he said. "You must rest first," said Grandmother. "You can leave on the dawn." "Good plan," said Annie. She's yawning too. They went to Grandmother. The black honked to her tippy, and Grandmother pointed to a buffalo rope stake standing aside of a still burning fire. And Jack and Annie reached out of them, and Teddy circled between them, and Grandmother and Black Honk lay on the ropes across from them. And Jack watched a burnish white smoke roses from a fire, and it went up to a tippy hole and relentless stare in the sky, and Jack listened to a wind blowing through the grass. "Shh, shh." It was the voice of the great plans. He thought, and he drifted off to sleep. Now, Chapter 9, Locust School. And tomorrow we started at Chapter 9, Locust School, and the end of reading at Chapter 10, or the end of reading the stories. Okay? Oh, wow. And I think we're at the end of reading at Chapter 10, so we're doing the end of reading tomorrow. Okay, and now one more time since I'm reading about it. It's tonight on the Titanic story. Chapter 8, Every Man for Himself. "Annie," cried Jack, "let me out," heard Annie shout, and the lifeboat kept going down. "Wait for me," came a loud voice. "Wait for me." The woman in the fur coat appeared at the railing. She nearly threw herself on the side of the ship. "Stop," uniformed man called. "Bring a boat back to Lady Bellwell." Slowly, the lifeboat brought back up, and Jack pushed it on his way forward. The lifeboat came even with the ship, and Jack reached out Annie, and she grabbed his hands, and she pulled back into the sinking ship. "Room for one more," Annie shouted at Lady Beckwell, and then she and Jack took off before anyone could catch them, and they ran up, standing down. And Annie stopped and peered over the rail, and Jack looked too. They saw Lucy and William's little lifeboat creaking down into the Atlantic Ocean. It reached in the glassy black water. It floated off into darkness. Annie waved it. "Bye, William. Bye, Lucy," she shouted. "Thank you for the gift." And she held a watch to hang from her neck. And then she and Jack looked at it. The time was going 2 and 5 minutes. "Only 15 minutes left," said Annie. "We have to get back to a treehouse now," said Jack. "Let's climb the stairs into smokers." Suddenly, the front of the ship dipped into the sea. Oh no, now the Titanic ship is sinking. And suddenly the front of the ship dipped in, and Jack cheers started to slide past Jack and Annie. The band played slow clam song. It sounded like a crunch cane, but the crowd started to panic, and people pushed shout and trying to get the safer part of the ship. "It's every man for himself," the captain shouted to all of the crew, and the man who stopped there going ran up to Jack, and Jack and Annie ran too. They dug at slides, tables, and chairs, and they reached the stairs that led to a smokeless, and the gravel railing pulled them in the sails and steps, and the ship tied further. "Get to those small stacks," said Jack, and they slipped those and down the deck, and they got a smokeless, and Jack and Annie looked around wildly. The magic tree house was gone. So what shall we do now? See you tomorrow. And now, thank you for coming to my YouTube. And please thumbs up my YouTube. Again, if you did a thumbs up my YouTube, see my today's YouTube the first time, okay? And now, today I have a new English going to come back with some burgundy story with some another characters, I think. Alright? And now, bye for now and happy Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.